welcome back. We're finally wrapping up our current events panel, but not before we hit this important topic, which potentially could be linked to climate change. Some recent reports suggest that Canadians are really not interested in having kids anymore. And not all Canadians, but many Canadians are not interested in having children anymore. Mike, why don't I let you start us off on this one?
Well, yeah, I read the story and it's very interesting that people were saying, I'm not having children because of climate change. No, people aren't having children because they're awful. Children, they smell bad. They're a lot of trouble. They're very expensive. Who wants to have children?
I have 5.
I'm joking, of course, but it is really a cultural phenomenon that modern, not just Canadians, but people who live in prosperous Western countries are increasingly uninterested in having children.
Yeah, and what do you think is the impetus behind that, Mike? Look, I recently was in Europe for several weeks, and I saw you can just see the declining population, the aging population, and you see various governments scrambling to incentivize citizens to, hey, have 1 kid, maybe 2.
Yeah, I really think it's a security issue. I think back in the day, people had a lot of children because that was their RRSP. It was going to be the children who looked after them in old age. And because a lot of children died, you had to have a lot to make sure you ended up with a few. And because we are so financially stable and wealthy, that's no longer a consideration. And people are saying, why should I go to all that trouble when I can just take that money, spend it myself, and not have to worry about things?
Fair point. Michelle, why don't you think Canadians are interested in having children anymore?
Well, I disagree with Mike's point. I disagree. What I think it is a financial basis. I think that we live in an individual society that people like to enjoy, and we do live in a prosperous country. And frankly, at the end of the day, people want to give opportunities that they had. And if they don't feel they can give that for their children, then they don't want to have children because they think it's unfair. Meanwhile, people in other countries may not even be able to afford some of these things. They don't know any better, and they just have children. We're a very different society right now, and we want to provide as best we can. And if we feel that we don't, then many people say, I don't want to. They also fear what happens in the future. And frankly, it goes down to they want to enjoy a certain lifestyle, and having children is very expensive.
Well, I think they can be an encumbrance, if you will, because obviously it's hard to go on your all-inclusive vacations to an adults-only resort when you have 3 kids in tow or something like that. But I think that the rise in this sentiment, yes, I know with the younger generation who maybe aren't the childbearing age yet, they're concerned about the future, climate change, wars, instability, and there seems to be a great fear. I think one of the big things is housing. It's okay to afford a 1 or 2 bedroom condo, but when you're looking to buy a home, most people want to have 1 bedroom per child. I don't even know if that's a good or bad thing. And then they want a backyard. I mean, that you're immediately jumping to a higher housing price range. And simply in the last few years, we've seen prices across this country skyrocket. Mike?
Oh, I don't think you're wrong. I think that's a real consideration because, again, there's a lot of impetus to build apartment buildings, build condos, but those are not the places you're going to raise children in. When people are looking to raise children, they want a home in the suburbs with a backyard and, like you said, a room for every child and multiple bathrooms, and that is really getting to be exorbitantly expensive.
So do you think, Michelle, that people should just trim their expectations, that maybe, a child doesn't need every bedroom, or maybe it's okay to raise a kid or 2 in a condo downtown Toronto or downtown Ottawa for Mike's purposes?
Yes, absolutely. Like I said, we have this idea and vision of what kids and the life should be. And these people grew up a certain way, and whatever they grew up with, they want to do at least the same or better, as I was saying. And if they feel they can't, then they say, I don't think I should have a child. And they certainly don't want to readjust their lifestyle of what they're accustomed to doing when they have children. So really, at the end of the day, it's a mind frame. And it's a mindset of what they have. And there's multiple factors. It's financial, and it's individualism, and it's climate change. And there's a multitude of things that are changing people's mentality. So really, at the end of the day, how do we fix that? Change the mindset.
Well, something we'll have to fix, because if we're not having kids in Canada anymore, then who are going to be the workers, and where's the future?
Well,
Thank you for joining me today. We're going to have to leave it there. Thank you both so much, and we'll have to catch you next time.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.